Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Oldham County Fiscal Court. I'm David Vogel, Judge Executive. Happy to have all of you here today for our meeting on November 5th, 2024, Election Day in the United States. So we're happy to have you here for our meeting. If you're able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, there he is. Hey.
We did make it.
I'm going to ask our clerk, Holly Prain, to please call the roll.
Magistrate Likens. Here. Magistrate Tice.
Here.
Magistrate Woosley.
Here.
Magistrate Jeffries.
Here.
Magistrate Hounds.
Here.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Here.
Magistrate Dye.
Present.
Magistrate Logston. Here. And Judge Vogel.
Here. Having all members of the fiscal court present, this meeting is now in session. Is there a motion to accept the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Are there any additions or deletions? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now it's time to approve our minutes from the last meeting. Have you all had a chance to look at them? And if you have a motion to approve, we'll accept that.
So moved. Second.
Are there any corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Time now for public comment. Is there anybody who's come today who wishes to address the fiscal court on some item not scheduled on the agenda? We're happy to hear from you. Seeing no one, I'm going to close public comment and go on to the first item on the agenda, and that's a presentation and report from Operation Parent on the TNT event that was held in, I guess it was it September, or was it almost late August, early September? So Daryl Bramer is here from Operation Parent. Welcome, Daryl. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Judge. Also with me is Kelly Van Zant. The reason that she is here is because she was the brains behind this about 10 years ago. So we've developed and morphed this over time. So do want to give an update on today, or on the event we had back in September. It was on September the 14th. And we had it was a great event. We had it at City Place here in LaGrange. And honestly, just to reiterate, you all did give us funding for this, you and the City of LaGrange. So it's so greatly appreciated. I'll give you an update, probably show you a video or two here just to kind of show you some of the exposure and some of the impact. But what we did when we went to look at this event is we used the principles, came from Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. Basically, we wanted to use the principles for the use of funds from opioid litigation. So this is the first time with this event that we've used both, or we've targeted both parents and youth. So in the past, this TNT event was mainly meant for youth with a very small parent piece. This time, we had both parents and youth come to this event. We wanted to make it, as you can see on the left-hand side there, inviting, educating, transparent, equipping, and engaging. And that's what we did, both for the parents and the youth. We invited, we let everyone know what Operation Parent was about. We also had what we called Opioid 101 education for the parents, and I'll talk about that a little bit more here in just a second. We wanted to also be very real with parents, and we had a testimonial from a couple going through and struggling with their kids' opioid addiction. And then we had an equipping, so every parent left with an Operation Parent handbook, our webinar resources, our talking tips, as well as drug facts, opioid facts, and refusal skills handouts for them. And of course, with any good event, you got to have prizes. So we had prizes thanks to you all as well. On the youth side of this, we had, again, inviting. We made it fun. So this was indoors where we had the parents outdoors. The kids were out there doing inflatables. Music was going. Had a lot of fun. Free food, free drink. But most importantly of that piece, we were educating them, whether they knew it or not. What their goal was is to to go back as to look at each station, at the inflatable station, and in each of those stations we had different drug facts and refusal skills. So what the kids would do is they would go memorize those drug facts, those refusal skills, go to a table, which we called the memorization station, and they would repeat those drug facts or refusal skills to the person behind the table. If they got those, that person would then write their name on a ticket, they get draw for a prize. So if you can imagine the number of kids who wanted to do that. I think it ended up being an average of 5.8 tickets or chances for a prize for each kid that was there. So it was really engaging from that standpoint, but educating at the same time. As well as what was going on the inside with the parent testimonial, we had a young adult testimonial who happened to be that child of those parents who were talking to the folks on the inside. So that young lady spoke a very powerful conversation. Honestly, she talked about her opioid addictions. She talked about her early pregnancy, so it was very, very engaging. And the way we knew it was engaging, I think, is there was a lot of questions from the kids, and there was a lot, and there was talk of potential suicidal thoughts. So it was just very real, and nothing was left on the table from this young lady. So we thought that was very powerful. And she talked about her addiction, to drugs and opioids as a young adult. So I think the kids got a lot of information out of that. And of course, we equipped them with the memorization facts and whatnot. And we also made that engaging. Honestly, I think the best thing we can do is, and one of the goals we came to you all with was to say, okay, hey, we want to host this event, but we want to be able to showcase this to other communities, other counties across the state, across the nation, and just say, how can we host an event, such as this? So this video that I'm getting ready to show you here is kind of a video describing the event of that day, but how other people can do it as well. So that's kind of the goal here, is to and this is the first time we've done this, and we've had a kind of what I would call a marketing video to show, hey, you can do this too. County, community, school, big or small. So let me show you this video real quick. Learning drug facts and refusal skills. The parents are in here learning.
TNT is a really exciting drug prevention event. This event is going to help youth in drug prevention because I think a lot of times we're afraid to say specific things about drugs. We're just saying no, don't do it. And instead, we're letting the kids know, hey, it's more than don't do it, but this is the why behind it.
It's called Trends in Training, where we educate both the parents and the students about all the different things that are happening in their lives, whether it's drug information, mental health, whatever it may be. We're just here to educate, but we do it in a fun way. The kids are out on inflatables learning drug facts and refusal skills. The parents are in here learning about just some of the more serious pieces of it, but also we're here to give the parents hope.
TNT started in 2015. We were trying to figure out a better way to get kids to understand the dangers of all the different drugs and alcohol and different trends going around. And we wanted something a little different than just handing them like a promotional item or something. We wanted to create just this fun atmosphere where they were learning the drug facts and equipping them and educating them so that they could remember the facts and be better suited to fight against it.
Our TNT event can be large scale and small scale. So anywhere from an event in the cafeteria for Red Ribbon Week, whether you're a health department or a sheriff's department, or if you're a church, you can throw this event, or we can go more large scale for a larger event, so more of an event in the community. TNT is for anybody to throw.
Operation Parent makes throwing TNT so easy for you because we have everything you need. We have the posters, we have the wristbands, we have the t-shirts, but most importantly, we have a kit that shows you step-by-step instructions on what you need to do from a small event to a large event, and again, everything in between.
What excites me most about TNT is just the excitement as they're learning. And we've also partnered with parents now. We're equipping them as well with talking tips to go home and talk to their kids about all the different things that they learned, the refusal skills, and we're helping educate the parents as well. So we're kind of putting the team together in the household.
It's really important that we're not leaving the prevention conversation for kids to figure out what TikTok says, what does Instagram say, what does my friend say, but for a community to band together and say, hey, this is our stance on drugs. We're gonna come together and make this school community or the community at large a safer place.
So as you can see there, I mean, the goal there is to kind of showcase it, because you can talk about it, and when you can talk about these things, but it's just kind of hard to, and that kind of brings it to life a little bit. So a little bit more about, and there's a few pictures, and we'll send this to you guys as well. But there's just some pictures of the fun that was had, but also some of the talks and whatnot, and the seriousness of this event. So a little bit more around the awareness. So, that's the biggest thing, is not only make parents aware, but to be able to make other communities aware as well. A few months ago, I was introduced to by Magistrate Logston, Lauren Carr, who's the KCO opioid settlement advisor, or opioid settlement advisor. So that's the Kentucky Association of Counties, as you all know. Lauren and I have talked a lot, and she's put me in touch with different folks. I think she actually came to that event that day as well, and it was just good to have her there, because she was able to see it firsthand and be able to speak to it to other communities as well. In addition to that, she also, her being there also prompted some additional conversations between Judge Vogel and Mayor Black to be on a panel for the Kentucky Opioid Symposium a couple weeks ago, talking about how do you do this? How do you partner with communities and each other to be able to do what we did here? So again, it's all around that continued awareness and that focus to be able to bring the education, prevention, and awareness to communities and to folks. If I have time, I'll go back. So WOKY and Wave 3 were there as well to kind of give us, to cover the event. WOKY will actually mention the Oldham County Fiscal Court's grant to us to be able to do this. So it was a good call out. Wave 3 also had great coverage on that. But I just wanted to mention that we had news coverage there as well. So not only was it just in our little community, but it made it out there to others in the community as well and across the state. So here's kind of a breakdown of what the event looked like. So we had 361 youth and parents, so 193 youth and 168 parents. We had 42 volunteers there for the event. We had some resource partners there, as well as some local celebrities and speakers. So from a resource partner, we had the DEA of Louisville, Baptist Health, Psychology Group there, Kentucky State Police, ARC, and of course we were there. Volunteers, we had volunteers from across the county, whether it's the parent community or school, homeschool. We had some Spanish-speaking, we had a couple of tables there for Spanish-speaking students, as well as our church community and of course, our Operation Parent Board members. The local celebrities, Judge Vogel and John Black, and Magistrate Hawkins was there. I think you were there the entire day, pretty much having a good time with everybody as well. So
I did. I saw my girls in a couple of those pictures.
Did you?
In
Nice.
the video. Mm-hmm.
But on the inside, when we had folks talking to the parents, so we had the Attorney General Russell Coleman speaking to our parents, and then Daniel Cameron, the prior Attorney General, speaking. So basically, they kind of gave that opioid 101 class. Daniel kind of talked about where we came, how we got here, and some of the issues and whatnot. And Russell talked about the where we are today and where we're going. So it was a good kind of a 1-2 punch. I think it was very impactful to the parents. They appreciated the attention that this was got from the Attorney General's office. And then the testimonials, again, I mentioned Denise and Keith Hyde. They spoke to the parents around their daughter Bree, who spoke again later to the students around her opioid addiction and how she came out of that. So it was great, fun event, free food, free drink. It was awesome, right? So did it help? So that's our big question. How do we measure this? Prevention is very hard to measure. We have stats, for every $1 of prevention, it saves that much in recovery or treatment. But we asked 3 simple questions to our parents and to the kids. Did this event raise your awareness about opioids and other substance abuses? Did this event raise your confidence enough to have a conversation with your child? And then did you learn any refusal skills that you can practice at home? So you can see that on the awareness question, we just did a definitely, somewhat, and no. And you can see where the scores were very high when it comes to definitely they had awareness, 81%. I think the awareness conversation is maybe the awareness was already there. Did we raise it, any more? But I think that's where the 81% from the parents and 88% from the youth, I think those are good numbers. The 4% there that said no, I always look at the no's, the negatives, and that could be just that these folks are aware already. We didn't get any feedback further than that. We did give them an option to comment, which I'll show on the next slide of some of the comments that we received. The confidence level, I'm glad to see that. I'd love to see the 100% for the youth having a confidence level to be able to talk to their parents. I love that. Based upon these questions these kids were asking, they're not afraid to say anything. So I love that, and I love the idea that they have that confidence to be able to talk to their parents. I think parents probably may struggle with this a little bit more, and that's why we're in business, right? To try to help come alongside them and help them do that. Give them tips and talking, tricks and to be able to talk to their kids. And then refusal skills, those kids, they were on those refusal skills and just different ways to say no to their friends, to their peers, to whoever may be online coming after them. So we feel like it was a good, resounding, positive event, and I think the survey, tells us that is the case. This right here is, I won't go through all these, but we had a lot of good feedback. Don't change a thing, those types of things. We had some, one of the lessons learned for us was to actually present a schedule and an agenda for folks to let them know that. I think we almost advertised it was like an open house, and it was a start to finish. And I think that was a lesson learned on our part, and that's where we kind of need to communicate separately or differently as we move forward and instruct our communities, churches, schools, as they go and host these events to be able to do that as well. Our budget today, so we have most of our budget in, or most of our expenses in. We have one still outstanding that we have to get on here that is updated. We already have it on the list here, but we have to update our video production and modification to that. But as you can see, we started out with $40,000, $20,000 from City of LaGrange, $20,000 from the Oldham County Fiscal Court. We actually had two donations from Southeast Christian Church, LaGrange campus and Crestwood campus. Crestwood campus gave us money specifically for prizes, and that's what those went towards. The LaGrange campus said just however you want to use it. And we also went out there, and Kelly did a wonderful job of going out there and getting donated items. So you can see some of the prizes we had for parents. That was more family focused. And then the kids, they got some fun things like scooters and gift cards to Tinseltown and things like that. So as you can see, the actual expense at this point is $33,976.89. I'd say within the next week and a half, we'll have those final numbers. I don't see it raising too much from that at all. So that leaves a surplus of what we do with that. Which leads me to the reason we do TNT is we don't want it to be just a one and done event. We want to be focusing on our schools and our communities and what we call the Pathway 369. Every 3rd, 6th, and 9th grader parent, we'd love to have to put a handbook in their hand, because 3rd grade is when, if not sooner, is when this stuff starts to happen. We have an elementary handbook for 3rd grade parents, which y'all got last time we were here. And then the 6th grade, of course, that's starting middle school here in the county, and then 9th grade. We update these handbooks every 12 to 18 months with the latest information that we have. So if a parent is a parent of a 6th grader, 3 years later is a parent of a 9th grader, we're going to have new information for them anyway. So we want it to be a repetitive process for our schools. And that's what we're, with the surplus here, that's what we anticipate. We'd like to do it, but that would be, of course, with your all's approval to be able to use those funds in that way. The Southeast Christian Church of LaGrange has given us that go-ahead to say use these 250 handbooks. They're about $10 a handbook is what we're, and that's how we came up with the $2,500, the 250. What we're asking the fiscal court, and we will be asking the city of LaGrange is to do the same thing, is to be able to provide 475 handbooks to. And we just kind of pulled this with Oldham County Middle School or designated school in the county that you choose. It would be a middle school is what we're since we're focusing on the TNT and that middle school age group, and we'll be asking the city of LaGrange the same thing. So that is the update, and then open it up for questions or.
All right, thank you, Daryl. It was a very complete presentation, and impressed with what you put together here. I think it looks great, and I was there and enjoyed being there, and really, I'm thankful for the effort that you're making, and you and Kelly and the rest of your staff, and to do this type of information, provide this type of information for the kids, and get out there with the kids and their parents. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add? Magistrate Woosley?
Mr. Bramer, what exactly is a refusal skill?
So basically, it tells the kids, okay, it gives them different options on if somebody offers you this, how do you refuse that? Okay. As opposed to just saying no, what are different options you can do? And so it just kind of opens up those types of opportunities for kids to be able to just actually say, hey, I'm in a sport and I can't, they do drug testing all the time. Different reasons and different ways to say no to their peers or others who are offering them whatever it may be.
Okay. This is a great use of our opioid money. Ms. Van Zandt and you, I thank you for your leadership on this and think we should continue this in the future. So, thank you. That's all I have, Judge.
Ms. Hawkins?
It was mentioned about a concerted parent group.
Yes.
Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, so as part of the conversation or the response on our surveys, we asked parents, hey, if you want to know more about Operation Parent, or you would be like to be a part of a parent group coming from this, then we'd love to get your name and information. So we started to reach out to some of those folks. Mm-hmm. We hope to have something starting in January for a parent group, and that will be led by some. We can even have it. We've offered to have it at the Operation Parent House, to where parents can come, and it's really not a teaching, not a class, but it's more parents to come together and talk about these things to be able to have someone come alongside you, and that's the goal, right? We don't want to try to do this alone. So.
And I noticed you got 8% of the kids surveyed. I wonder how we could increase that to kind of ask more kids. You probably have thought about that too.
Yeah, I think. It was a busy day,
right?
So just getting the right people and we had some young people going around doing these surveys, and it was just, just asking them. We're not going to get them to fill out anything, so it was all questions to them. So the more people doing that, and you also want to do it kind of later in the day, and then so it's just kind of that like a little bit of chaos, just trying to increase the number of people asking those questions.
When Magistrate Woosley asked, I can just read like. One of the tips, like for prescription drugs, a refusal tip, because I took a couple pictures of the signs. One might be, I only take what my doctor says I need, or no thanks, I don't know where that came from. And then vaping was, no thanks, my cousin got really sick after vaping once. And another one was, I'm good, I don't want that stuff in my lungs. And so I don't know, you said 6 different, there was that one, there was marijuana, there was... Fentanyl, yeah. What was that one?
Yeah,
alcohol.
Yeah.
Alcohol. So the alcohol one was, my parents will ground me for a month, or no, I can't drink alcohol because I've got stuff to do early in the morning, which is, legitimate
Yeah.
for busy kids these days.
I will also say, Judge, that we will have a formal, like a written report with all these kind of attached electronically that we'll be sending to you all as well in the next,
Right.
within the next 2 weeks. We should have all these things wrapped up.
Thank you. I appreciate a copy of the video as well. Love to put it on our website. And
Absolutely.
it was really well done. I thought the entire event was extremely well done, and I hope it can be repeated and exported to other organizations, communities that we're all trying to organize an effective response to opioid abuse, and this is certainly a great step forward in our community. You mentioned, and I'd like to ask the court now, we did have money left over, $4,750. You've asked if the court will have your approval, give our approval for you to spend that on handbooks. So I'll make that motion that court allow you to go forward and buy the 4,750 handbooks for distributions in the Oldham County school system. Is there a second on that?
I'll second it.
All right. A second on that. Is there any discussion on that?
This is funds that we've already
Yes,
provided
right,
you guys,
yes.
just
Right.
leftover money? Okay.
Yeah.
He's asking for that money to be used beyond the TNT event.
A lot of the things that we were in budgeting, we're like, okay, actually Kelly's, and she's was able to go get a lot of things donated and things like that. So I think it was just
Judge,
surplus.
I just ask, I would assume this would qualify under the requirements of the Opioid Funding Commission.
Yes, I'm sure it will.
I will tell you, and also in that light, so we're working with another grant that the state has given us around opioid abatement money, and we're working with 10 counties in southeastern Kentucky to provide these handbooks, and that is what it's going for. So just to
Okay.
kind of let you know that.
Okay?
All right. We've had a motion and second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
All right, appreciate both of you and everything you're doing. Move on to the next item on the agenda here today, and that is our payables. We have our bills in front of us, and when you're ready, we'll pay the bills.
I'll make a motion that we pay the payables.
Second.
Second.
All right. I like to, I don't see our treasurer here with us right now, but I've been looking for, and I want to make sure that the finance people send the allocations that we already approved to the Oldham County Health Department for 3 opioid abuse initiatives. One was the 988 promotion, another was to send people to a opioid abuse training seminar next year, and the following was and the third item was for a website dedicated, it's dedicated specifically to the opioid abuse. If you remember, we did approve that, but the finance department hadn't sent out the check yet, so I want to make sure that they do.
Would we want to get an invoice from the health department for those things because they would be invoiced items?
Well, I think their presentation amounted to an invoice, but we'll look into that.
I mean, I would think for auditing purposes, we would want some kind of invoice, not just the ask, especially too, if we had to give that information then to the opioid commission, we would have that paper trail created.
Okay. Well, we'll ask him for an invoice on
Same
this.
with the signs, right?
Measure die.
This is from the last meeting at the end when we had the motion on this, correct?
Yes, was it, did we have, was it in the minutes for the last meeting? Or was it the prior meeting?
I think it was the last meeting.
Last meeting.
Last meeting? All right. Let's see, where is it on here? And the health department's asked, basically, for the money, and we haven't sent it.
Well, my point of contention here is that there was some talk of some signs, and apparently those signs are not going to come, from what I understand, not to come to fruition. So how do we extricate that from that motion? Do we need to redo it, or? What?
What extricate what?
The signs that you wanted to use that opioid money for that apparently,
Do we not want to do that?
well, I thought there was a problem about making sure that that was when it was a reasonable use for the money.
Well, I don't,
I'm not saying it's not, I'm not saying what you said. I'm just making sure that if we can't do that for those signs, should we take that out of the motion?
I
Mr.
don't think
Baxter, maybe
so.
you know.
The motion has been made to allocate for that use, but there are some additional steps that need to be confirmed. In other words, there's no issue taking the sign money and dedicating 100% of the time on the signs to opioid, and drug abuse information. That's not a problem. The question is, what percentage of the time on the sign needs to be allocated to that? Is it 100%, 80%, 50%? I'm pursuing that with the Opioid Commission and have no intention to move forward on anything until we know exactly what their interpretation of that will be. So I don't think there's any need to rescind anything. We just need to not go forward.
Okay.
And we're prepared to go forward once we have the information, but we don't have the information at this point in its entirety.
Well, when we get the information, let me take it a step further. When we get the information, you're going to bring it to the court, and we can decide if that information, the level of involvement they want may be more or less than what we want. So there's still a situation there, right?
Sure, yeah, I intend to bring it back.
Okay.
Right.
All right, just wanted to be sure. I
Right.
just,
No.
we had it and we
No.
didn't, I thought we weren't going to do
Right.
it, so I just wanted to clear that up.
Right, I don't think that's a question needs to be answered as to exactly how much overall screen time is required.
Right.
And we have to take our other 2 screens into consideration with that as well. We already have 2 out there, so there would actually be 4 signs promoting anti-opioid abuse. So, okay,
Okay,
if that's a proper term.
yeah, right.
Magistrate Hawkins.
I have a clarification question. What exactly do you want brought back to the court for us, Magistrate Guy?
Well, he said the percentage of screen time that would have to be. Maybe if they say it's 10%, maybe we might think maybe it should be more, or they could say 90%, maybe we think it should be less. You know,
So it's not,
because we weren't given everybody was in agreement on this pretty much. I thought, because we all agreed to it, that we would get some additional information before we would do it. I just wanted to make sure that my understanding was, as of today, was that it didn't look like it was going to happen. So the judge said he's waiting for something to come. So we'll just wait till it comes, and then we'll have the rest of the conversation then. How's that?
right, we didn't all agree to it. I was a nay vote.
Oh,
But my question is, so are you challenging the amount of time opioid information will be spent on the screens, or are you challenging the signs itself?
we're going to have to wait and see what to tell us.
I don't think he's challenging either. Right now,
Okay.
we're waiting for a clarification. Obviously, I'm trying to accomplish something without taking money out of our general fund to do it, if we do it at all. But we're going to need to find out what amount of commitment is required to use these funds for that purpose.
Gotcha.
So if it's 100%, I'm going to bring it back here. I mean, we're not, but I hope it's a reasonable amount. If it's not, then maybe I don't want to do it either. I had a goal in mind for it, but if it doesn't fit, we'll find it out. But initially, we were not given that much delineation of what could be
Right.
expected. But the entire opioid program is under a lot of not volatility, but has a lot of questions to it. Communities are asking across the state, what can we do with this? Can we buy a drug dog with this? No. Can we, somebody wanted to buy auto cars for their program to take addicts to treatment centers. That was denied by the commission.
Wow.
So, but they have said yes to other things. So there isn't a clear path But I want to get a clear path before we go forward. We'll get everybody's blessing, get a blessing in Frankfurt, get a blessing here. If ever we can't all agree on what we're going to do, then we'll figure out something else to do with this large sum of money that has been given to us to do something with. Okay? We did it with Operation Parent. It's worked good. The health department's had an idea. Other communities have basically essentially handed money out to treatment centers. It's been, paying for somebody to go somewhere. Has been, but we haven't had quite that level of abuse, I don't believe, in our communities that some counties in eastern Kentucky have had.
I'm surprised the drug dog isn't allowed.
It wasn't, because they said, well, the drug dog will, be used, will pick up other drugs. So,
Funny. Okay.
so I don't know why, but maybe that was an initial reaction too. So I don't know all the details. It's just what I was told at the opioid seminar a couple weeks ago. Magistrate Hounds.
Judge, because of the scrutiny of this, I think it would make the most sense if when the health department got the invoices for the things that we approved, that they forward us the invoices and we'll cut a check. That way, there's a clear audit trail. And I'm not, and again, I may be the only person on this, but if the seminar that they're talking about goes up in price $350, I don't, they're still going to the seminar, but we should pay for actual costs. And I think that the opioid commission would appreciate us paying for actual cost and not
Speculative.
some number. And it may be 100% right. I mean, I don't know.
Right.
But
All right,
just
we'll
produce an invoice.
we'll ask for an invoice, and we don't always ask for an invoice, but we
Understand.
will in this case.
It's
we've-
because of the scrutiny of what we're talking about.
Right, sure. It's all right, it's all right. They just are looking for a path to receive the funds. Magistrate Jeffries.
Just a question. The commission, do they have to sign off on this approval to the health department? I mean, is that something, is that, do they have to approve it after we make a recommendation? Or is that something that, okay, we've done that, and then if they don't agree with it, then we'd have to pay the funds back? Exactly how is that going to work? Do you know?
No, the commission does not have to agree to each and every request or decision within the community to spend opioid funds.
Okay.
It's just that the only reason I'm going to the commission is to clarify something that's not clear.
Right.
Okay, get a ruling. But the health department, I don't think to see any issue on the health department. If we have to go, they don't want us to come there with everything
Okay.
that is done. It's up to each county. You're subject to getting second guessed down the line by someone if it's too far off the mark.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Baxter.
Judge, I hate to interject myself into this. I went back and looked at what I understood to be the health department programs. Did you all approve Credible Minds at 13.5 for 1 year and then 11.5 subsequent to that? And law enforcement training, promotion of a 988 crisis prevention line. Is that opioid specific, or do you know?
It's I'm not sure about it being opioid specific, but Ms. Carr told me that was within the
Okay.
reasonable
And
thing.
the-
So,
The other one, it's a small amount of the money, but it would seem to me that ought to be approved is if they're asking to draft a modification to the social host ordinance to include marijuana. I mean, that's specifically going to be outside the scope of the opioid funds. So,
well, that is not anything, there's no money involved in that, is there?
$2,830 is what was on what I was provided after our last meeting. So I just had a question about that. I mean, that one seems to me to be outside the scope. And if Ms. Carr has represented to you that the crisis prevention line is fine, I understand that. But, again, we're talking, to me,
Right.
a drug dog would be a good use of the money. But when they've said, no, you can't have a drug dog because it's going to find marijuana, that, to me, is kind of right in that same wheelhouse, so I think we have to be a little
Well,
careful.
right, I understand. And now that I've said that, I'm not going to take it back, but I'll say that I didn't read that in any, I was told that. So I'm reporting something that I was told, that, but I didn't have any facts past that,
Well, I was advised the same thing.
even if that's a fact. you
I
know.
was advised the same thing, Judge.
Yeah. All right, well, I agree with you as far as the social host thing, that is, doesn't fit the bill. But, all right, we'll ask him for an invoice on these other items then. So, all right, anything else? So I think we've had a motion and second to pay the bills. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, thank you.
Ryan.
Now we're up to the first reading here of a ordinance, KOC 24-920-074, related to zoning for medical cannabis facilities in Oldham County. Ryan Fisher is going to lead the court here.
Yes, Judge Vogel, Magistrates. Mr. Baxter, thank you for having me before you today. As Judge stated, this is a first reading for a regulation that will be created in our comprehensive zoning ordinance for medical cannabis facilities. That will be our section 250-065. So as most of you know, legalization of medical cannabis will go into effect January 1st of 2025. They've actually already started the lottery process for safety compliance facilities, and last week I believe they just had the one for cultivators and processors. So we're well on the way. We met with our study review committee in June, July, and August of this year, and then our planning commission recommended approval to you all back at their October meeting. So we'll have and as you all know, also LaGrange, Crestwood, and Pewee Valley have already enacted their own ordinances. So this particular zoning ordinance will just pertain to all the areas outside of those three cities. And with that, we'll have our second reading and public hearing on the 19th, and when we'll have a more formal presentation and answer any questions for you.
All right, is there any one that would like to ask any clarification at this point?
I do, Judge. Yes.
Magistrate Woosley.
I'm looking at the permitted areas, and one of those is 1,000 feet of pre-existing educational institution properties. So does that include any property that the school board would own or any property that they're currently utilizing for a school?
So the way it reads right now, so that is actually in the state law. So schools and daycares are the ones that they have to be located away from. Currently, the way I read that is it's got to be a pre-existing school that is in use now as a school.
But an actual building, okay. That's all I have, Judge. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Ryan. All right,
Thank you.
we'll deal with this in a month,
Deal
I
with it.
guess.
In a month or in 2 weeks, Judge?
I guess 2 weeks we can get this advertised and, all right.
19 November.
All right. Under contracts and resolutions, the Country Club Lane realignment contract, Jim Silliman.
Good afternoon, Jim Silliman, County Engineer.
Is there an echo in here?
Hello.
Is there?
No. I just said your name, then you come up and repeat it, so.
I just added title for the sake of the public.
All right.
As you may be aware, the current plans for Kentucky Highway 393 and the realignment of 393 includes the elimination of the connection of Country Club Lane, which is a county-maintained road, to Kentucky Highway 393. This is just an exhibit that was provided in one of the statements of qualifications from QK4, who we'll talk about just in a moment for reference. Considering the need for circulation of trucks at that using this road, we've determined that we actually need to retain that connection to 393. So at this state of the design development for the 393 plans, it's not feasible to change the state's plans. So we've decided to locally undertake this and advertised for consultants to provide their qualifications. They did. We opened those at fiscal court. Those qualifications were reviewed by a subcommittee of the road committee, and QK4 design engineers was selected from that group. After discussing the scope of the project with QK4, which includes what they'll do is they'll propose, they'll investigate two alternatives, either likely this alternative opposite Dispatcher's Way, one of these two, and something closer to the existing alignment, give us costs for the connection and widening, and we'll determine in consultation with them of the two, which is our preferred alternative, and then they'll go forward and produce design plans, which we'll be able to utilize to bid for construction. The proposal from QK4 is $75,000. That's before you right now, and that's their fee justification was included in that document that you were provided. We had budgeted in the fiscal year 25 budget $65,000 just based on previous work. So I think $75,000 is reasonable. It's not much more. And we do have other money in that line item that we can utilize to offset that difference. So what I'm asking is the fiscal court approve judge to sign this contract with QK4 to proceed with this design process.
So moved.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that I be able to sign this contract with QK4. Are there any questions or comments about this?
Just that this did come through the road committee, and we recommended this, approval from fiscal court.
All right, thank you. All right, seeing none, no other questions. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next item.
Thank you. So subsequent to that, and while we were reviewing the proposals for this project, one of the magistrates suggested that we might also look at widening of the portion, and it's actually shown off this picture, that connects that parking lot to Sadler's Mill Road, and that's also part of the county-maintained road. It's about 500 feet long, currently 10.5 to 11 feet wide, so pretty narrow. So we asked QK4 to also provide us a proposal to do that, and they've provided that in the amount of $5,000. It's significantly less because it's significantly less complicated work. We can probably just take the preliminary work they provide to us and utilize that to request bids. So I'm asking the judge, or the fiscal court approve the judge to sign the contract in the amount of $5,000 to provide preliminary design engineering and cost estimate for the widening of Country Club Lane from the Country Club parking lot to Sadler's Mill Road.
Judge, I would recommend that we approve that and allow you to sign that $5,000 contract with QK4.
Any discussion about this? All right, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Silliman, would you be willing to update your, the fiscal court agenda item request form to reflect the current letterhead?
If it's incorrect, certainly.
Yeah, you've still got Kevin Nuss listed on here.
I still have what?
Kevin Nuss
Kevin Nuss.
listed.
Oh, apologies. Okay. I thought I pulled the correct one. We'll fix that.
Was that wishful thinking? Just kidding, John.
All right, be careful, Mr. Baxter, because Joe's up next here. So, all right, now we'll move on to Human Resources, Parks, Maintenance, Road Department.
No.
Did I skip something?
Nope.
Oh, my gosh, I'm wrong. All right. Again. Deceased Animal Removal Program. Polly Helton, sorry.
Good afternoon. We are applying for the Deceased Animal Removal Program grant. This grant helps county residents with the removal and proper disposal of deceased livestock. It also helps the county with the removal of deceased deer on county roads. So we're asking the court to authorize Judge Vogel to sign this grant application and any other related forms for this grant, and to authorize myself as the grant administrator.
I'll make that motion, Judge.
Second.
Discussion? Magistrate Jeffries?
Yeah, you said disease, but it's really
Deceased.
dead animal.
Deceased, yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, I thought you said diseased. I'm sorry.
Deceased.
Gotcha.
Magistrate Hawkins?
Just a question, technical question. This says for landfill and composting and the incineration when it was not checked, but I thought currently we use the incineration method. Is it changing or how's that? Why is that different now?
We contract out. We do not have an incinerator, so we do not
Right.
incinerate anything.
Okay, and it doesn't have to be used for compost versus incinerated by those who pick it up for us?
Right, so they usually take it to a rendering company or a landfill. The
Okay.
smaller animals that we can compost in our local composting, we will do that there.
Okay. I thought they were incinerated when they came and got them, the Blue Line. Okay.
And we no longer use Blue Line. We use Countryside Industries. Blue Line
Okay.
decided not to do it anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, seeing no further questions, we have a motion and a second. I'll be allowed to sign this grant. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Now we're down to committee reports and recommendations, and this has to do with the release of erosion control surety for the Kroger development in Buckner. Jim Silliman.
Yes, sir. So, as evidenced by inspections, actually not recent, several months ago, the construction at Kroger has been completed in accordance with our ordinance regulations and the approved construction plans. However, we were awaiting the recording of their drainage easement for the detention basin, the stormwater detention basin, before releasing their surety. That was recorded a couple weeks ago, or several weeks ago, so we took that to road committee at the last road committee meeting, and the road committee approved that we bring this to fiscal court. So I'm asking fiscal court to approve the release of the Kroger in Buckner surety, erosion control surety in the amount of $707,106.01.
So move.
I'll second that, Judge.
All right, moved and seconded. Is there any discussion about this? Hearing none, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. And I might add, since we're talking about this, the Buckner development there, that we now have additional construction underway for a Starbucks restaurant and a bank on the remaining lot there. So,
Yes, sir.
all right. Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, sir. Next, we have a recommendation to reduce a performance bond for the Brentwood subdivision, Section 9, Brentwood subdivision located in Crestwood. They originally posted a bond or cash surety in the amount of $63,960. They've completed some of the infrastructure to be able to release some of that, but not all of it, so they've requested that reduction. They provided an estimate of what's remaining in the amount of $39,780, which we found acceptable. So I'm asking that the fiscal court approve the reduction in the amount of $24,180.
I'll move that, Judge.
Second.
All right, moved and seconded that we return the $24,180 to Oldham Farms Development. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I got a little bit ahead of myself, but now we're up to Human Resources. Tina Schaaf and Joe Ender are going to, and Joe might have the final word on this, Barry, so,
I can get Kevin Nuss on the phone if you need him.
My height or your height? Okay. All right. Before you all this afternoon is a consolidation plan for the parks, maintenance, and road department. I'm just going to tell you that the process is when there is a reorganization proposed, it comes to fiscal court for approval, and it can take effect in 60 days. We just leave it out there. By the administrative code, that's what we have voted to do. Joe, did you want to walk them through the specifics on what we're doing?
Judge, can I say something also. And this has to come from you because we cannot change the administrative code only once a year. So this has to come from you when you make the recommendation. So I just wanted to clarify that.
What do you clarify? What do you clarify? I don't understand.
We can only change the administrative code one time a year.
We're not
The rest of the time,
changing the
judge can change anytime he wants.
Well, we're not actually,
We're not changing.
we're not
it.
Well,
changing
this
the
has to
code.
be added to the administrative code. So in essence, you are changing it.
No.
No, we're
No,
not changing.
this is just in compliance with the code requires that if we,
Right.
you know, have a reorganization of some departments, that we bring it forward for the court to have 60 days to consider. So it's really not, the organization is not laid out in the administrative code, but it is a requirement that we do it this way, so.
Okay.
And we're
Well,
not,
it will
we don't
change it.
have these two departments laid out as such in the administrative code, but it does require that we give everybody 60 days notice of our plan to merge these two departments, merge a portion of these two departments.
Right, exactly. We're taking just the maintenance part of it over to the road department.
So, okay. Well, Joe can brief, you know, the rest of the thing if you want to.
Yeah, so I think we've already, most of you have already seen kind of the preliminary plan of what we put together. This was approved in the HR committee meeting to move forward. Really, just the rationale behind this was really threefold: to improve the operational efficiency of the two departments. They both conduct largely the same types of work. They do mowing and in the parks, and then we do mowing in the road department. And we're maintaining equipment in two different shops. We're storing equipment in two different shops. We have idle equipment in two different shops. So that kind of leads you, you know, to the economies of scale, the procurement side of things, and then just a strategic sourcing of all of those assets and deploying all of those assets from one shop versus two, maintaining all of the equipment in one shop with our mechanics over at the road department. It makes more sense than maintaining equipment in two different locations. And then just career path growth as well. You know, the parks maintenance staff really doesn't have a tremendous amount of growth potential. And by moving them into the parks department, or by moving the parks maintenance group into the road department, you really add several different disciplines of areas where they can be cross-trained. We have actual certified mechanics in the road department. We have a stormwater team. We have, you know, paving inspection, mowing, landscaping, special projects, clearing. So there's other avenues for those folks to learn different skills. They can get their CDLs, which is also, you know, helps us when we're trying to find source drivers for during the winter season for the plowing. And then just having all of the labor force in one shop makes things a lot more efficient. So today, parks maintenance, in a perfect week, they mow 5 days a week. So if any disruption, whether it rain or any other event that requires them a disruption in their mowing, then they get behind. So where the road department, if they're all in one group, they can deploy as necessary and redeploy and add more workforce and cut down the mowing so we don't fall behind in the parks. So it's just a lot more efficient for these two shops to combine their resources, and we think we're going to save some money from a variety of different ways. And one of which is eliminate all contract mowing. Also, for the fiscal court, currently we're spending about $13,000 on contract mowing for about 7 or 8 different government facilities here. As a result of this consolidation, we would also eliminate all contract mowing in the for fiscal court. Except for the slope mowing that we are currently using Kenny Powell's company for.
All right. Do we have any questions on that? Magistrate Hawkins.
Then who will the parks maintenance people report to? Will they report to Ben or will they report to Gary?
Yep. No. So they will report into Ben moving forward.
Okay.
Right. They will no longer be parks maintenance. They'll be part of the road crew department.
So they won't even be called parks maintenance
Correct.
under the road department? They'll just
Correct.
be part of the road department? Okay.
Yeah. And so their road department will now be in charge and accountable for the appearance and the maintenance of the parks.
Gotcha. Thanks.
And this also frees up the leadership team there in parks to really focus on what they do best, which is managing the programs, having a comprehensive plan for the parks, just the vision and strategy behind the capital improvements in the parks.
Measure die.
Usually on a commercial cutting crew, there's, depending upon the weather, there's usually 26 cuts a year, once a week. So what are these additional personnel going to be doing when they're not cutting grass?
So, so we will be deploying them all over the place. These folks will be cross-trained. I just mentioned many of the things that we're constantly falling behind on. Which anywhere from the landscaping, the special projects, the paving, clearing. I think Ben spends a great deal of time clearing and during this time of year. And then in the wintertime, I think, Ben can speak to this better, but there's a variety of different tasks that these guys will continue to be as business as usual. There are seasonal staff that currently work for the parks. Their season ends at the end of November. So we won't pick those folks back up until, is it March 1st or April 1st? Yeah, but just to give you an idea, so the park staff actually does get reduced at that time.
Would this also include any kind of work on drainage and stuff like that?
Yes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Measure Woosley.
This touches all three of my committees, Parks, Roads, and HR. All three of those have been informed of this. They've reported favorably on it. Not only is it a cost-saving measure, but it's also going to save us money on the duplication from having to buy equipment for both agencies. So I'm in favor of it, and I hope this passes today.
Are there any other questions about it? All right.
Do we need a motion, Judge, to
All
move
right.
forward with this plan?
Yes, we do.
I'll make that motion.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion on this? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
And happy to have, we'll implement this as a 60-day notice, so we've already given some notice, haven't we?
Well, today counts the first day.
Today, day one, okay, today's day one. I'm very happy to have Ben Kimbler running this group. Ben is extremely effective in getting work accomplished through his department, which will now expand a little bit. And he's done a great job, and we can count on him for the same type of response in the future. Ben he runs his department well, he's liked well, and they accomplish a lot. So thank you, Ben. Next item on the agenda is some personnel appointments here. We've got,
It's a medical renewal.
Benefits.
Yep.
sorry.
It's okay.
I guess
Come on, Judge.
Trying to rush us out.
I'm going to bring my glasses with me at the next meeting here. All right, sorry. Okay, Tina.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So before you, for approval, is the 2025 benefits renewal. We are, as you know, we had United Healthcare. This year was our first year with them because Humana got out of the marketplace. We are recommending that we go forward with United Healthcare. They came in at a 5.5% increase. We are recommending that that increase not be passed on to the employees that pay premiums, that the premiums for the employees, their deductions stay the same for 2025. All the other aspects of the medical plan, we would like to keep the same as far as the HRA. And there's a UHC rewards that goes along with that as well for wellness. Let's see, the other, dental and vision, we did decide to recommend going with Humana this year, more so for the coverage, the network. We were getting some complaints on the UHC coverage. A lot of the employees had dentists that weren't in the network and things weren't being covered. And they were having an actual hard time finding a provider that took the UHC plan that we had. So decided to go with Humana with what they offered us. The expanded network, the enhanced benefit on the 30% after the maximum has been met, the 30% discount and the 1 month free premiums as well. And it went down 3.84% in cost. Everything else we're proposing to keep the same.
So Humana got out of the
They got out of the
insurance- medical insurance,
group
but
medical.
they stayed in vision and dental?
They stayed in dental and vision. That was actually their biggest book of business. They wanted to expand, and now they're in Medicare and dental and vision market.
Okay. And this goes into effect
January 1.
1st. So I should wait, get my tooth fixed then. How's that what you're telling me?
But you got to sign up by December 7th.
Yeah.
Magistrate Hawkins.
Were you able to get the question answered about the pay, the negotiated rate?
No, I was not. Not on your particular situation, no.
Okay. And then the judge and I were talking for a hot second before court about the HRA for medical. And is there a way to implement either through Humana or through the through fiscal court an HRA for dental or something similar? Is there even anything on the market?
There's a flexible spending account, which we've not had. We do have an HRA. We can look and see what that is, but that would be limited, and that's for dental coverage. You could use that for dental, but it's still you putting money in it. You'd still have to.
It's not like the county HRA for medical. Do they? Is there a product out there that's a county HRA for dental?
That the county would put into, they would have to vote to put that money into an account for you. Yes, just
Oh,
like
so
the
it's a
HRA.
possibility.
It is.
Right. I think what she's asking is the HI health reimbursement account limited to medical expenses, or could it be the definition of the program be expanded to include dental?
I think you can already use your HRA. for-
HSA you can use for dental.
HSA.
HRA is attached to our medical plan. We can get another HRA plan that would include dental, but we do not have that right now.
Okay.
And I don't know.
And
that-
also, flexible spending is money you put in, but it's pre-tax.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't pay
Yeah,
income tax.
and-
So, but I can use my,
You can.
okay.
Right. Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to confuse as to what we're trying to accomplish.
She's wanting to, you can't, the HRA that we have in place right now is for medical only. It's for our medical plan. Magistrate Hawkins would like to have one in place for dental.
In addition to medical. So in other words, I think because you and I have spent hours on this, and I think maybe Magistrate Hounds may not completely understand what the HRA is, which I didn't before a couple years ago when you explained it to me. But the HRA is like if somebody has something going on, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's beyond some certain amount, which I'm not aware of. I don't know what that number is. And it's a medical thing. Then the county has its own situational account here that is that can help provide an employee some funds toward fill in the blank over a certain amount. But right now it's only for medical. So if there was some certain amount over.
Right now we get the.
See, this is why I'm not you in your HR.
Right now we
position.
have a high deductible health care plan.
Yeah, there you
and
go.
we have a high deductible health care plan, so we can get lower rates from our carrier. So basically, the deductible's higher, premiums lower, but the employee is not responsible for that entire deductible. They're only responsible for a portion of it because of the way the county has funding set up. So we take advantage of the lower rates that a high deductible plan offers, but the employee is not out the $4,000. The employee only is not out the $4,000. They stop at $2,000, and then the HRA that we have set up through a third-party vendor helps them on the other portion of their deductible. So it comes out of an account that the county is funding.
Right.
For those, so
But
the
if you
employee
were to
doesn't
put-
have to.
If you were to put money in your HSA account,
Yes.
then you can use your
Pre-tax. I mean,
HSA,
yeah.
your pre-tax HSA money, which is 30 cents more on the dollar than what
Right.
post-tax. So you're getting a 30% benefit by using your HSA money
Mhm.
to pay for the qualified expenses, correct?
Right. There's that, and also we have the UHC Rewards Program, which offers for wellness participation, the $1,000 for a covered spouse and the $1,000 for the employee that participates. That's $2,000 that you could potentially earn to put in your HSA or on a visa if you don't qualify for an HSA.
And I can tell you that the benefit account paid for the Apple Watch, and it's they said they would pay for the Ultra.
Mhm.
So guess what I bought? I bought the Ultra, and I believe I've got like 2 more weeks and I'll have it paid off. So, I mean, the plan works. You've got to get exercise. You've got to do stuff. You can't just
Yeah.
do nothing. But I mean, if you do follow the steps,
Yeah.
you can get
That
paid
was
for the
funny.
watch.
That was funny.
Right, it just came right out.
Yeah.
And you get your sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, if you
That's
track
the
your
thing.
sleep and your steps.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to maybe try looking at implementing dental HRA.
I will
However,
get the figures for you, but yeah.
Yeah,
for
okay.
sure.
Cool.
That's an additional HRA account.
Yeah.
Yeah. That hasn't been reviewed
All
by
right.
the HR committee.
Go ahead, Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, were you ever able to find out if the prescriptions could be of 90 days versus 30 days?
90 days? I have not, but I will get you an answer on that. They haven't responded back on that yet.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion on the floor to, I believe, don't we?
Judge, I'll make that motion. I'll make the
Okay.
motion, we accept the benefit renewal for 2025 as presented to allow the judge to sign the paperwork related to the renewal.
And to move the dental to Humana.
Well, that's part of it.
Second.
All right, second. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, next item here is animal control. We have a new hire here, Jared Banta, to begin at tomorrow at $19 an hour. A motion to accept Mr. Banta's employment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. I have an opening on the Police Merit Board. I'd like to appoint a former and retired state police officer, Carrie Duncan, to a term that would expire on November 6th, 2028. I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Time now for a second public comment that we have. Is there anybody here who'd like to address the court? To see no one, I'll close public comment. See if the court has any final thoughts for the day. Magistrate Likens?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Magistrate Tice?
Have nothing. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Magistrate Woosley?
Judge, I just want to announce that last night we had the very first meeting of the Kiwanis Club of Oldham County. We've got that restarted and had a great attendance last night, and looking forward to seeing what this group can do for Oldham counties.
All right, great. Glad to hear that.
Magistrate Hounds, are you going to talk about the food program that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's all I had. Thank you, Judge.
All right, Magistrate Jeffries?
Yes, I'd just like to concur with the Kiwanis reinstatement. Now, I'm going to ask for the fish bus to be put back in place or whatever. So I think that would go over really well here, in especially the LaGrange area. So, Judge, the only thing I had, Bo Glass, I think, has already stepped out, but got word from him today that it looks like the new dispatch antenna that's been under construction at Ballardsville is almost completed. I think the fence is up, the gravel's down, the fiber has been installed. I understand that they should have it operational by November 12th is the timeline.
All right, great. Thank you.
That's all I have, sir.
Thank you. Magistrate Towns?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. A couple of things. Kudos to Amy Alvey and her team for the election process. Those of us that voted early, I think it was very, very smooth. I didn't vote today because apparently you can only vote once. Legally, yes. So I voted on Friday. It was a very, very smooth process. I think that 19,000 other people thought it was also a smooth process. It's that time of year again when people like or rake their leaves and think that the best way to dispose of them is to burn them. Obviously, that's your option. But a couple things I'd ask. One is the ditch lines that the county, quote unquote, maintains is not a place for you to pile your leaves up and burn them. We've had several issues that in neighborhoods where people are putting them in the concrete culvert and trying to burn them, and that does not increase the life expectancy of the concrete ditch. In fact, it reduces it, believe it or not. Judge made a comment about Ben's crew earlier with the projects and landscaping. I know Magistrate Dye beat the drum until it was probably unbeatable again about removing some trees around Fiscal Court and taking care of some landscaping issues. It looks great. I'm not a fan of lava rock it's because it's red, and that's a whole nother story. But Ben, it looks great, and your folks that did that design work and that work, please pass along that information. The insurance, I wanted to bring up a comment that I made to the county employees. We do have good insurance. My wife was displaced several months ago, and when she had to actually use our insurance as the family, your all's insurance does that. Her previous employer didn't. So it was kind of refreshing to hear those comments. The other thing is too, is I'm serious, folks. It's not hard. I got the Apple Ultra watch and paid for it by using the UHC rewards. It was, once I got it set up and understood how to track everything, it was pretty simple. And I'm a gadget nerd, I know that, but the watch is pretty cool with all the information that it has on it. Last things that I want to talk about, and Magistrate Woosley brought it up, we will be doing the food drive. I had great intentions of bringing the containers to departments and that to put the food in, but it was a plan that didn't work out because I didn't get to Costco to purchase the containers, which I'm going to do. But we will be doing a county food drive to collect food from, hopefully by Friday. I hope to have them up here. And some people, I won't mention Amy's name, think it's a good idea to decorate those containers. And if people want to do that, that's their prerogative. But we had very successful last year. We did over 400 pounds of food. My goal would be if we could double that, which wouldn't take very much time because we only did it for 2.5 weeks last year. So we're doubling the time, and maybe we can also double the food. I think it's great. High Point got a lot of the food, and there was Crestwood got a little bit of it also too. And I think that we try to spread it out to the best we can and help those have a good Thanksgiving and good Christmas with the food donations. If anybody has any suggestions about how to do it differently, I'm all ears. It's not, I don't consider it to be my project. I consider it to be a we project, something that we can all take enjoyment in making somebody else's life better. Thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Hawkins.
Thank you, Judge. Before we meet again, we'll be celebrating Veterans Day, so I would encourage anybody to think of it. And I'm wearing my poppy today it's worn to honor the fallen and show appreciation for the sacrifice made by veterans. So I would just encourage anybody to think of it and mention somebody's poppy if you see them wearing it. That's all I have today, Judge.
Measure die.
Well, it's a little bit after, what did it say, Judge?
3:25.
3:23.
See, his glasses are better than mine. You got about 2.5 hours. If you haven't voted, get out and vote. Time we meet again, we'll have a new president. Hopefully, it'll be the one that you pick. And other than that, I am so glad, Magistrate Hound, that you've got an expensive watch.
It's not expensive. It's not expensive.
I would have thought that was like a Rolex or something.
No, just Apple Watch.
So if anybody's looking for a gift this Christmas, Mr. Hound has one on his wrist.
Measure Logston.
Yes, Judge, I'd like to just mention, y'all redid the website. I think it looks awesome. It's very nice to log on to. It's easy to find your way around. I want to thank you for doing that. Maybe we have somebody come up one time and do a run through on it, because I mean it really is really nice. It's easy to find anything, so thank you for that. Also want to thank Joe and Ben for putting that together. It's going to save the county money. We're always looking for ways to stop duplication of services, and I think that combining the parks and mowing and stuff will help out the county tremendously. And Joe, I know you put a lot of time in it, and I want to thank you for doing that.
All right, thank you. See, our county clerk, Amy Alvey's come here, and I think she is probably, you look pretty all-American here today,
right.
Amy, with your flag.
Shoes
and,
match, too.
Yeah, you got shoes. So you want to tell us what's going on in the voting world here.
So my apologies. I had to run and fix a printer, so I didn't make it here for the first public comment. So I just flew in by the seat of my pants to get back here this last minute. So obviously, you know, if you've followed social media, the voter turnout for early voting was phenomenal in Oldham County. Over 2 days, or I'm sorry, over 3 days, we did 19,227 voters between our two locations. So the John Black Center processed 9,870, and Crestwood Baptist Church processed 9,357. That's 12 individuals at the John Black Center, and 14 at John Black Center and 12 at Crestwood Baptist Church. So that's phenomenal for those people that went through and processed all that. So as we stand right now, a live view of where we are at, we have checked in so far today on Election Day 14,536 voters. So that is a total of check-ins, because it adds it all in there. We're at 34,055 voters, which is 58.7% turnout for Oldham County.
Is that a record?
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
That's a lot.
Oh, really?
So, as you said, we still have 2.5 hours left, and that is not counting absentees. We are in the process of processing those downstairs as we speak. So it's been a very, very busy few days, and it will still be a very busy night. But I just wanted to, give a shout out to all my poll workers, my staff. All of my motor vehicle clerks are working at the voting centers today as the liaison. So they're the ones that get to call our office with the voters that have questions or issues, especially Michael and Tab in my office. There's only 3 of us that do voter for 58,000 people in Oldham County. So that's a lot of tasks to do and a lot of phone calls to answer. Big shout road department, they helped us set up yesterday. They drove me around in their U-Haul truck, and we set up all 9 locations. Sheriff Wakefield and his staff, Tim stayed with me to the end of the last church that we set up last night. So it truly takes a village to get this done. We've had a lot of comments on Facebook about how efficient and quickly everything we could get the voters through the process. So that's always a plus. So no major issues as of yet, but we still have 2.5 hours. So,
all right, well,
thank you.
Two obvious questions for me, at least. Where will the vote total for Oldham County be posted, and when do you expect it to be posted?
We will. They'll roll through our media system that we have in our office on the TV screen there, and as we get them, I will do my best to update Facebook as quickly as we can. The results will not be official until Friday, because with the new House bill, we will be required to do a hand-eye audit. So we have to submit our reports by end of business tonight to the Secretary of State's office, and they will put all of our scanners from each location into a randomizer, and they will pick one machine. And since we are vote centers, anybody can vote anywhere, and they'll pick one race. So they'll notify me by 4 p.m. tomorrow what machine that is. Then Thursday morning, lovely maintenance department will go with me to pick the machine up. We've reserved the large conference room. It is a public meeting. It starts at 10 a.m. and we will do a hand-eye recount to verify, basically to check the tech. Once that's been verified, no issues are found, we sign off on that, then we can sign off on to certify the official election results. But we'll have preliminary results tonight. So hopefully as soon as we can.
Let's hope it's Westport.
Yeah. Exactly.
On Facebook and your website?
Yes. Well, can't guarantee it'll be on my website because I don't manage our website. Software management manages our website, so I don't have the ability to upload that myself. I understand, yeah. But it will definitely, I will share it on my Facebook page.
All right, Magistrate Jeffries.
Yes, Amy, just want to thank you and your staff and the poll workers for an outstanding, at least 3 days, and I'm sure I haven't heard anything, bad today. It seemed like everything's going pretty well today, and you all have just, I know, worked your tails off for a long time to get this done, and just want to thank you and publicly give you some applause here.
Thank you. Thank you. Like I said, it's just not me. I'm the one that's the paperwork person, but it definitely takes a team.
All right, thank you. We'll see. Oops, we got one more, Magistrate Hawkins.
Important question. Will you stand on a chair and run a Facebook Live like Julie used to?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I got ridiculed my first election for that. Absolutely will not do that. Nope, not happening. I've been asked that twice today. Not going to happen.
Magistrate Dye.
This is not in regards to Amy and the great job that her and her staff has done. On back to the website, does the court need to vote on that or approve that, endorse it or something? It's coming out of your office, basically.
You mean our new website?
Yeah.
Well, number one, it's not posted yet. It's just
That's
been
what I've been
sent out
hearing,
for
release it to
comments.
public.
I don't think so. I think that's an administrative issue, and
Okay.
all the magistrates have been asked to comment on it, and I believe we've had nothing but positive comments, but we're.
Well, I mean, from an official view.
No, I don't think we've ever voted on
All right.
a website before.
Satisfies me.
Okay. I did want to mention about the watch. Everybody's different in life. I don't know what's on an Apple Watch. I've heard plenty about them, but I don't know one. Pardon? Same as your phone. I mean, believe it or not, I haven't worn a watch for at least 40 years. I don't know why. I just generally know always what time it is.
The time that comes on the watch is insignificant
It's
compared
not,
to the other things.
that's right. That's what I was going to say. It must be something else because I know you're always on time. But, okay, I do want to mention that a week from today we'll be having our Project Development Board meeting at 2:00 in the large conference room. After that meeting is probably going to last somewhere between, I'm going to say about 20 minutes or so. About 2:30, the Project Development Board will be touring the courthouse. The magistrates who would like to join the tour and see what's happening inside the courthouse are invited to show up at the statue at 2:30. And, or you can come to the Project Development Board meeting, but we'll all have to get up and walk over there. So I think we'll be good. Pardon? That'd be a week from today, the 12th.
But they'll be late.
All right, and I think we want to wish all of our magistrates here good health and good luck for the future. Okay, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.